Hi there, Kim from Expression Artworks. I have this Dollar Tree bunny that I'm using today, and this is going to be a cute shelf sitter. I have this milk paint by Sweet Pickins, and the color is Purple Posies. It's a really pretty soft lavender color. Those of you who've never seen milk paint before or used it, it comes in a powder form, and you mix equal parts of paint and water. And you mix it up really well to make sure you emulsify it and you don't have any lumps. If you want it more like a chalk paste consistency, you could add more paint and less water. And if you want it more of a stain, you can add more water. So it's a very, very versatile. Yeah, you could see this pretty lavender color. I decided to give it a second coat after I dried this up, just because I didn't want that natural wood showing as much, and that's what was happening. It was a little bit more transparent, so I just went back over it after I dried it and gave it a second coat. Also, off the camera, I wound up painting the sides of the bunny, but you don't have to do that. You could leave it natural as well. So from here I'm using Pentart Fine Line Crackle, and it comes in two different components. So component one is more of a milky white, and you just apply it with a paintbrush. You want to make sure your surface is fully dry before you apply it. And I'm just going in downward strokes starting from the top. You don't really want to have to go over the same area that you already done. Try to avoid that. I started drying it a little bit with the dryer, but then I let the rest dry naturally, at least for a good hour. You could even let it dry longer than that. And then component two is more of a brown glossy. It goes on clear, but it looks more like a brown in the bottle. And then you apply it the same way, going in one direction. Start from one spot and work your way down. And then I just started to dry it really well, and as you're drying it, you could start to see those fine line crackles start to appear, and it's so pretty. So if I hold it up and with different angles in the lighting, you could see that crackle. But for it to show even more, I'm using Pentart Antique Paste, and this is like a darker brown. And I'm just going to rub it in using a dry rag, or you could use a cloth rag. And I just kind of apply it in, rubbing it back and forth, circular motion. And then once I get it all in, I took a clean part of the cloth and then just wiped it back. And that really gets into those crackles, and you could see how you could really see the detail of that crackle. It's just such a fun product to use. I love it. I've crackled a few things already since I've bought it. And then here I'm just deciding to add a small bow with one piece of fabric, and then I'm going to add some lace to it just to embellish the bunny. And like I said, this is great decor for spring, even going into summer. Obviously great for Easter. You give it as a gift. And it just makes a great shelf sitter because the bunny is thick enough where it stands on its own. So just using that one piece of fabric gave me 2 loops on each side. I added a small piece of lace, and then I'm just tying it, cutting off the excess. And then I decided that I wanted to add the bow kind of like right where the neck was, almost like a little collar. And then I had some pieces of greenery, so I cut 2 small pieces to put one on the top and one on the bottom. And there you have it. I think she came out really cute. Thank you so much for watching.